Hey guys, and welcome to the finale of the Sonic and the Secret Rings playthrough. Yes, that's short when you go through all the mandatory missions.
And Stephen breathes a sigh of relief. He's managed to dodge this one.
What do you mean? It's not Steven that's joined us for this playthrough.
Yeah, exactly. Stephen didn't want to cover this one, and now he's managed to avoid it.
You know, it kind of makes sense that I called Colin not Steven because they both have similar hairstyles.
No, we don't.
Very similar. I don't know, from a faint distance without glasses, you both of you kind of look similar.
We look nothing alike.
You mean personality-wise? Okay, right, I get you.
We're nothing alike.
Guy Steven's probably going to get you for that answer.
Oh, he gets me at anything. Because I love the man. Again, really good music.
Alright.
Not the best, not my favourite soundtrack of all, but it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's a gimmick for this one. We go into this particular room multiple times, and it flips.
I thought Godzilla was coming, that's why.
Well, what's Godzilla got to do with this?
I don't know, it's just like because of the pumping noise.
Oh, Sonic, we're now playing Gojira!
It's because there's
The shockwave eye.
Yeah.
But
and there's a power generator there as well. You need to destroy it.
that's it. It's touching the generator. The generator's losing power. Oh, I saw footage of that game. It's like even when you destroy a submarine, they call it a generator.
That game was rushed, I think.
And then there was that one, was it Gods and Monsters on the PS2 and GameCube, which is like a fighting game?
Yeah, destroy all monsters and save the Earth.
You know, there's even a Godzilla trading card game.
What, like Pokemon?
Well, I don't know if it's like that, but...
March at Dawn. What was that? What do you mean, the game Until Dawn? Which we'll probably do in the future. By the way, the cat's interrupted again. Melly, what is it with you wanting to always interrupt our commentaries? Do you want to be part of the channel?
She should be the mascot.
We'll rename it Cat Gaming.
Meow, bitch.
It really will mean that Mr. Tinkles is taking over.
Yes, indeed. And Lee can rename it to whatever his 5-bits channel to as Butch Fits, yeah.
Yeah, Godzilla's coming again.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are going to be really confused about our cats and dogs references.
Yeah.
It's a bit of an inside joke.
Yeah. Now this one is a little bit tricky, because, and I mean that by the end of the section, there's no steps to get back up.
Yeah.
You'd think taking this pod would go be the raid, but that gives you a fire soul instead. That's it. You see what I mean? Like, you're gonna see me trying to get up those spikes going around, but for whatever reason the game refuses to do that. You'll see why. That's the game forcing me into those spikes there.
God's sake.
For fuck's sake.
And I'm trying to do everything I can, like I'm backing up thinking, what next? What have I not tried? Can I try the pod again? Can I try this specific move? Why is the game not doing what I wanted to do? I was raging at this point.
I bet you were just wanting to get the game done as well.
Because I knew that after a few missions, it's 2 bosses and I'm done.
Aye.
Never having to touch this game again. Until for party mode anyway.
Aye.
I mean, look at that. You saw that jump there.
Yeah.
There we go.
And Pastor's like, thank fuck.
Remember, flap your wings and fly. Oh, that's another skill as well. The reticule doesn't turn green, or that basically increases the speed of your homing attack. But downside, it means a lot of more fast forward with your fists. Why can't it just be a simple button press, like all other games before it? This is what I hate about the early Wii's. Like every game back then had a motion gimmick just for the sake of a motion gimmick.
Yeah, because every game had to say, look what our console can do.
And nowadays it seems to be an oversaturation of one genre, like first-person shooters.
Yeah. Now see, this is the finish with Zero Rings mission you're talking about.
Yeah. We are, yeah, this is the one I'm talking about, where they throw tons and tons of rings, so you're going to watch me take a few intentional hits so I can finish with no rings. Like, your goal's not to ignore the rings, but you can collect a few, wait till the very end of the level, then take a few hits to reduce your rings to 0. But see what I mean? Like, for a mission we collect no rings, they throw a ton at you.
Yeah.
Wait till you see this bit right? I mean, look at it right here. Look, everywhere. Rings, rings, rings. At this point, you're thinking, "Oh fuck, I am gonna have to take a hit to the spike ball." And I don't get that camera thing as well. It's supposed to be dynamic, but it kind of throws you off, especially if it's one of those where the camera angle changes and you've got spears like these heading your way.
Well, considering this level, you have to have them hit you.
Yeah, at this point here, there's the angle I'm trying to get through without dying and with no rings. So I'm being lucky here. And oof.
Ooh.
And I think that should be the last one of the mandatory minuscule side quests you have to do to get the last donut.
Let's see what flavor it is.
Hopefully. No, I'm wrong. One more mission, I think. I lied.
You lied to me. Liar.
There we are. To defeat 20 enemies. I'm sure this is the last one.
Yeah. Is this mandatory or is this you just taking out your frustration?
Both. Mandatory, but
It's a pass on just to go, die, motherfuckers.
die. Aye, because I hated that previous level. That's like the same thing that Lewis went through in the Sonic 1 Brain Scratch playthrough, where he died so quickly in the special stage 3, and then he had a temper tantrum and took it on the enemies. He's like, I failed that special stage. Die, die, die. Oh, I think there's something involving some of these. You see how the hourglasses are repairing some of the stages. There'll be hourglasses in cages, but the only way to break them out is to use speed break. Like, how are you supposed to know they were going to come in? They just disappear out of existence.
Yeah.
Look at that popping. Oof. Ding dong.
Yeah.
Someone's at the door again. No, there you go. To break that hourglass to repair the stage, you have to use speed break. But I don't bother.
Yeah.
Because I'm at this point, I'm like, I just want to get this over with. I don't care.
I'm so close to the end I can taste it.
Like, shit like that, how are you supposed to know that was going to happen? Need to remind you, the game is automatically always moving forward for you. You have the only way to stop is to hold down a button. Oh, this is another. That Grey Cage is another one where to get a red ring, you have to use time break for it to appear. Apparently, it's finicky. You would think that sound effect that Sonic did was a bit weird, but I would say the weirdest is Sonic Adventure. If you remember the bumper cart, when he goes on the jump panel, and he goes, woo! Like, that's so gay.
Yeah.
That was like Ryan Drummond's first portrayal of the character. Here we are.
Now what flavour is this one?
This is purple.
Poisonberry.
Heimlet? Yeah, it makes sense. He's a greedy fucker. Now, we're going to get some exposition as to what Erazor is, by the way, for those who have never played it before.
Something I've been thinking about, Shara.
As well as a question that will get answered later on.
And the Erazor Djinn know each other.
Huh? Well...
Hey, if you'd rather not talk about it, that's okay.
Sonic, you make a shit detective. This is where you get full Ellen Noir shit on her. It's like, and like she says, oh, well, and then truth, doubt, lie.
Genie of the magic lamp from the story of Aladdin.
Huh?
Long ago, he was punished for his misdeeds and sealed away in the lamp. He would not be forgiven until he had granted the wishes of 1,000 people. But when his sentence had been served, he had a renewed hatred of people. That was his fate, sad as it was. His cursed destiny came from the story he had been written into.
Huh?
Shara?
What?
The Eraser Djinn.
Can you imagine the Disney Aladdin went like this?
Aye.
I want to stop him, though. I want to turn the stories of the Arabian Nights back to what they were. That is my wish.
Okay, then I have two wishes then, since you're going about wishes. One wish, I would like 2 chips and a Coke. And the second wish, I wish I could wish for more wishes. Right, we got all 7 world reigns at this point, folks. Now we can go ahead and deal with Erazor Djinn.
Yeah.
Because this is what happens where, I mentioned before, you do the first stage in Night Palace, then it automatically goes into the boss battle. But then it'll play a cutscene where this must be the door they opened. The credits will roll, and it'll say, oh, you don't have the world reigns, go back and get them.
Yeah.
So I've added in the cutscene to where it's supposed to be playing.
Hey! Looks like I'm running.
I have a tendency for fixing things that don't make sense.
Yeah.
Have you brought the 7 world rings?
Well, you see, you should really just look for them yourself.
Very well. I'll carve you to pieces until I find every last one.
Is that so? Let's see you try.
This boss fight is bullshit the very first time you play this. So what you're going to see when how I defeat this guy is after years of practice against this guy.
Yeah.
You're not going to get this on the first time. Basically, he swings his sword, and when you get the opportunity, you got to aim for his head, and then the camera will switch to a face-off. That's what the game will tell you to use time break to strike his head. But I'm going to do it without time break, to show it's possible.
Aye.
Again, this is after years and years of practice. I know, sad.
Yeah.
That teleportation effect is weird, by the way. And then him 3 times and that's you. And you keep doing that until he decides to, until his battle royale color explodes.
Aye.
Pest, your feeble attacks cannot harm me.
I have no idea who voices Erazor, to be honest. I know it's Bella Hudson who voices Shara.
Face me.
Like, the game tells you here you have to stop and then jump at the right time, because if you're not fast enough, he hits you. Like that.
Yeah.
It does look like a very cryptic looking boss battle.
Aye.
It does. Keep in mind I'm using motion controls.
Aye.
Every home attack is me pushing the Wii remote forward. No wonder I have the wrist strap on when I was recording this.
Aye.
Because I was worried in case I'm like, wait, into the television. I'm like, fuck.
Aye.
I'm gonna have to wait till next Black Friday to get a new 4K. Then he switches things with that scissor attack, which is a lot more harder to jump by. But get this, just like an old school boss, the more times you hit him, he gets faster.
Aye.
To the point where it's almost impossible to hit him in regular attacks until he does this. I do like the music for this point. It's called It Has Come to This.
Aye.
Do you think Sonic is fighting this guy with a cold?
Aye.
He's doing really well.
Exactly. Well, do you know what? I think it's gone at this point.
Yeah.
Might as well just been a runny nose. Oh, there you go. You got one lucky hitting.
Yeah.
See how he's speeding up now? I mean, he speeds up everything. His sword attacks to this. So at this point, I'm not bothering for his head until he goes to here. I'm just avoiding.
Aye.
And here I get a bit lucky. Actually, I miss time, but then like immediately correct it.
Yeah.
Like there.
Did you notice he's called Sonic by his name for the first time there?
Yeah. And that's Erazor Djinn done for you.
Yeah.
Where's Razor?
Alright.
Alrighty, Razor, give up. You've lost.
Alright, Razor, I demand a shave. No thoughts on him? Nothing?
Nah.
Nah, just.
Anything at all? No? It's like he's sitting there waiting for a great result and then he gets fuck all.
Aye.
Or that feeling you get when you pay full price for an event and you only got half the show.
Aye. Or full price for a game, let's find half the content's been carved out for DLC.
Yeah. That's pretty much every standard game now anyways.
That door. What is it?
I have an idea. Watch this. Open sesame.
But if you need the world rings to get in this door, how did he get in there?
Good question, actually.
Same way Shar got out the book.
No, I'm reminded of Looney Tunes where it was around Arabian times where the guy had all this gold in the cage and he trusted his guard to guard it, and Bugs and Dove Daffy get in there and the guard is struggling to open the cave door.
Shell open. You've got the 7 world rings. This must be the door that they
Now, when you play this for the first time, you don't get it after the world rings, although this is where the game would end.
Alright.
But at this point, the credits would play, and then you go back and you get all the rings you missed, because the way the mission structure is bullshit. But because I'm doing this the intentional way, here's your last chapter. Lots and lots and lots of motion in it.
Yes, the joys.
What? We've already seen this shit. This is disappointing. All the world rings for this.
Right.
You just don't give up, do you?
You've brought me all 7 world rings? Well done,
Hey, of course. We're such good buddies after all.
Shara. You have done well.
Now, I'm going to explain this because the game doesn't tell you, but Shara and Erazor had a thing going on. So that's why Shara is betraying us by giving him the rings.
So genies have relationships.
Yep.
Let us rule the world together.
Betrayal.
What?
I must.
Shara, stop! You can't do this! Think about what will happen!
No, I want him.
I have no choice. I just want to be back with him.
No! As Genie of the Ring, I command you! Do what you do!
Charizard, I choose you. Now, what happened is it's her mind split and it's causing her to be unconscious because it's like two sides fighting.
Yeah, she still cares for him, but she knows what he's doing is wrong.
As the Razor Djinn's explaining here, all the world rings are based off emotions. So you got prayers, which is blue. Then you got prayers, sadness, rage, hatred, joy, pleasure, and wishes.
Bind these pages together.
What?
But the life of the collector of the rings shall be offered up in sacrifice as the key for that control.
So I must kill you a second time, Sonic.
Blue hedgehog.
Shara!
Here we go again with his death.
Uh,
Do we really need this in a Sonic game?
I knew
Oh, this is so sad.
all along.
Cueing the sad piano to hopefully get you crying like some Mr. Allen would. Because he cries about everything.
It's not your fault.
it's just like, you bastard, wait till you pick. It's God.
I wouldn't be surprised if Steven comes in and says, like, I'm handing in my resignation because you take the piss out of me so many times.
Shara, grant me a wish.
No, I'm dying.
So sorry, Master. I cannot grant.
Oh no!
In the end, such is the weak power of a genie of the ring.
This is what happens when you eat too many donuts.
Now, what Erazor's become here is called Alf Layla, wa-Layla, a fucked up monster. The reason he's fucked up looking is because Sonic was supposed to be the sacrifice.
Okay.
This is fucking stupid. I mean, look at this thing. And I think he's lost his sanity at this point because of the way he sounds.
He had sanity.
Well, I'm talking about how he portrayed his voice and all that. And he was very calm and all, but then he was just crazy.
Yeah, no, he's just not giving a fuck.
And here's the thing: what's happened? The rings have been spawned back out now, and Sonic's going to absorb only 3 of them sadness, rage, and hatred. Then he's going to become Dark Spine Sonic.
So he's turned to the dark side.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically it's a Sonic recolor with no gloves and no shoes. We can see his feet.
So doesn't that mean he's naked?
Pretty much. Feel my flesh.
Oh, that's monstrosity.
Uh-huh. This is your final boss, folks, and Secret Rain, Seven Rings in Hands is the theme. No orchestra pieces, nothing. Also, Werehog voice before he became the Werehog.
Yeah.
Now,
It was like a year before Unleashed, wasn't it?
yes. Now get this. To fill the soul gauge, shaking the Wii remote. La shaking. He'll fire projectiles at you, but you can have invincibility frames when you use a speed break. You can still use time break. And he's going to do these slashes, but here I'm trying, you can charge while doing that because you want to get your soul gauge to full because that speeds up the boss somehow. So I'm doing this for invincibility frames.
Alright.
I lie. But honestly, this final boss, my arms were fucking tired at the end of this because I'm doing a lot of shaking. So when he finally gets to the gauge full, he does this orb. You have to use speed break, dash into it, and then shake the Wii remote as fast as you can.
So,
Shake, 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 shake. And then that only knocks him out. Then you have to go up to his core, right? Home attack and shake, 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 shake.
it really wants to make you feel like you're being part of the fight, aren't you?
Yeah.
Indeed, I was physically exhausted at this point. I would say that's worse for a video game actually when it gets me physically exhausted when trying to do something like this.
Well, it's like to win this fight, you basically have to kick the shit out of his heart.
Indeed. Oh, this warp pool, these are very difficult to avoid actually because they're like portals, they suck you in at the last minute. So, but sometimes I use Team Break for them, sometimes I just get hit. By the way, this is a super form which doesn't drain your reins.
Well, it's not emerald based.
Aye, it's,
Yeah, but how many super forms does Sonic have?
well, there's Supersonic, Hypersonic, Dark Spine Sonic, Excalibur Sonic, the Werehog. 5 at this point, I think. There's so many of them. Hey, but it can't be as embarrassing as that Titan's tail in the comics because they know it was fucking embarrassing. And for those who don't, I'll put an image of it right here. What Titan's Tails was. That was fucking stupid. Because I can.
Fuck you, that's how.
I'm gonna get ahead here, yeah. This bit is almost impossible to dodge. Don't worry, but just like every other traditional, when you run out of reins and you get hit, then you lose life. It doesn't drain your reins. But your main goal is to get the gauge full again, which requires shaking the shit out of that Wii remote, son.
I bet you needed like a nap after this.
I might have needed a rest and all. It's one of the, you know when you play a game and then a motion game and then you do the motion that requires you to do so hard your wrist hurts and all, or you pull something. That almost happened to me here because my wrist was so sore with all the shaking and shaking and shaking and shaking, and when I got here, I'm like, finally!
At last!
And he explodes into nothingness. He's not feeling good today. What, that went over your head?
Oh, sick burn.
Maybe that's a shout at the writers.
This is how they meant it to be a sick burn, wound up being something that applied to them.
And we reach 67 at the end. Execute Order 67.
If I go all the way to 100, Andrew.
No, no, no. Fuck this game. I'm done. I'd rather play Shadow the Hedgehog over this piece of shit.
I shall not be defeated.
And I already have problems with that.
I will simply return again and again. I am immortal. I cannot be vanquished.
Really? That's not what the magic lamp says.
Where the fuck did they find it?
You'll find out soon. Remember that ball thing that Shara gave us earlier?
Uh-huh.
Turns out that's the lamp.
Okay.
She had it with her the entire time. And she didn't give us to it earlier because apparently she was attached to it.
Well, I think it's maybe saying it's actually it was Sonic's wish to turn it back, because he said go back to the way you were before. So it's going back to the lamp from the ball.
Fair, aye.
My first wish, bring Shara back to life.
I don't remember lamps becoming functional like guns.
I think maybe it's because he's bound to it. He's not going to willingly grant the wish. He's just like, fuck you.
And he's got the ring back, but why does he not have it in any of future games? Maybe because he found out that Amy will find out sooner or later.
It's like, yeah, no.
I'm taking this off.
Yeah.
Second wish, return the Arabian Nights to the way they
I
were.
do like this how the cutscene looks, because it looks really good. Like, and to think this is on the Wii too.
Aye.
Oh my.
My third wish, Erazor Djinn, you shall live in
That's not going to get old. Oh, yeah. Do you think that's how they came up with the name in the very first place? Someone in the writing office looked at their desk and he just happened to have a bottle of whiskey for his lunch, and then he found an eraser, like, Erazor? Djinn. Genius.
All over. The two of us. I swear it.
Typical villain, they swear and blah blah blah.
Empty promises.
By that filthy rat.
And this guy would not make another appearance until Sonic Runners on the iOS.
Really?
Aye, as a supporting character.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I'm a hedgehog.
And the reason why Shara's crying is because she still has feelings for him.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm questioning why.
Well, we don't know what he was like before.
What if she then found out Waluigi's existence and mistook him for a genie because he's pointy ears and that
fucker!
and that's how Waluigi ended up having a mother-in-law in Mario Party. It makes sense because that mother-in-law is magic based and there's a wizard. So, and she's magic anyway. And that was Sonic and the Secret Rings. Beh, you're not missing much. This is
really not.
final thoughts, lads.
I'm glad that I sort of stopped halfway through.
Yeah, it's now painfully obvious why I only played it the once.
Oh god.
Mario? No.
Yeah.
Is that saying Mario?
Mario.
I thought
Mario
it said Mario.
Kishimoto. It's Mario Kishimoto. You know, Japanese names.
That explains it, Mario Sabotage.
You want to talk to my console? I'm going to fuck it up for you.
But yeah,
This is my console, bitch.
But yeah, during recording, didn't have a good time. I would say the main problem is the controls.
Aye.
The fact that it's motion based on almost every aspect just makes me hate the game more and more. That's why I'd say Sonic 06 is a less evil version of it, because while that game is bad in its own right,
Aye.
it has traditional controls that, while very precise, you can get used to. This, no idea what they're supposed to do.
Aye.
Because again, at the time this came out, the Wii was brand new. Everyone had to have a motion gimmick. But there are games that it worked in. This is a game it didn't work in because they didn't realize the full potential. Not the fact that they didn't even include the option of a nunchuck. Because if I recall, the nunchuck was released alongside the
Yeah, I
Wii.
think that was with the Wii since day one.
So it's like, why didn't they give us that an option? Like, have the Wii remote and nunchuck as a step. And if they had that as an option, I guarantee you the game would not be as badly treated as it is today.
Yep.
Especially at this day and age.
So would you say 06 is like the worst in terms of like things directly related to the game, like the story, the
Yes.
gameplay itself, but this is more of a chore to play?
Yes, I would say so. Yeah, I would say so, definitely. This is bad. This is a bad game to play. Sonic 06 is bad in almost every aspect except the music. Speaking of which, the music here, I enjoy. I like it, but there's some music tracks that I kind of forget. Your opinion, Colin?
On the game itself?
And you always said that, and the soundtrack, or anything else you liked about the journey, anything at all?
Not much else to say.
It was blissfully short.
Yeah, but I mean that, like, it was short. Like, pretty much everything that you said kind of just sums up the whole game for me. So, yeah, I'll take that paycheck now.
Oh Oh no, we still have you for one more title until Mr. Allen gets back, and hopefully we can find a better microphone with much better sound quality. Sorry we sound like shit, folks, but we gotta deal with what we can do. And plus, we don't want to stop because we want to make content for you guys. Anyway, here's your song lists. This song that's playing right here is called Worth a Chance.
Well, I'm downloading that on Spotify.
You like it already?
Nah. I don't even have Spotify.
Well, the soundtrack is on Spotify if you're curious. This includes all the party mini games and all that. But yeah, so should we record party mode in some point in the future, lads?
If you really want to put yourself through the pain.
Hey, not just me. Three other poor sad souls.
Yeah. Well, me, Steven. Hey.
I'm gonna have to charge you extra.
That's overtime.
Party mode tax, that's what I'll call it.
An extra 20% on what you already earn.
Yeah.
Oh man, so that's part 1 of the storybook series. So next time when we continue on until Steven gets back, we're just gonna say screw it, because this game's shorter than the one that we just did. It's Sonic and the Black Knight. Let's just get the storybook series out of the way, shall we?
Sonic continues to fuck with mythology.
Indeed. This stuff, man. Let's just save it for when we get to Black Knight, because that one is better, but it's also mixed.
Yeah.
So we'll save that for the next time. So with that, I'm Andrew.
I'm Sean.
I'm Colin.
We are Cal Gaming. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic day, evening, and night, and happy gaming.
And what way to kick off the new year?
With shitty quality mic control.
And so, the legendary blue hedgehog, having saved the world of the Arabian Nights, ran endlessly until he found his way back into his own world. Along the way, he had many adventures, but those are stories for another time. Thank you, Sonic the Hedgehog, the legendary hedgehog.